Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, cabinet colleagues present, leaders of civil society, leaders of women's movements, ladies and gentlemen. We gathered in this hall this morning to discuss and hopefully find solutions to a crisis that has been ravaging our country for far too long. Women and girl children live under the shadow of violence and death at the hands of men who claim to love them. Many have perished at the hands of the same men they thought would take care and shield them from harm. Let us rise to observe a moment of silence in their memory. If you may rise, please. Thank you very much. You may be seated. To illustrate the gravity of the crisis at hand, I would like to share some statistics from the National Prosecuting Authority. From 2014 to date, a total of 117,811 sexual offenses cases against women and children were reported, except for a slight drop of 816 cases between 2016 and 2017. There is neither a sign nor actual reduction in the number of sexual offenses cases in our country. More than half of the 117,811 cases, that is 67,342, were offenses committed against children. An additional 11,589 cases ranging from assault, crimen injuria, and other forms of crimes were also reported, bringing the total number of crimes against women and children to 121,400. Last year, the National Prosecuting Authority began to collate statistics on femicide as a specific category. During the 2017-18 financial year, 79 femicide convictions, representing a conviction rate of 98.8%, were secured, with only one acquittal. In the first quarter of this financial year, 28 cases were finalized and 27 convictions were obtained, representing a conviction rate of 96.4%. While the statistics on the rate of convictions reflect the successes of the system, much still needs to be done to improve the performance and efficiency of the criminal justice system, starting with policy, the collection of evidence, the treatment of women from the reporting of cases up to the trial stage. One of the notable and deeply concerning aspects of the incidents of sexual abuse in this country is that they occur amongst family members, friends, and acquaintances. Another is that many cases do not get reported to the police, and it is often family, friends, and community members who pressure the victims either not to report cases or otherwise withdraw them. The concept document leading to this conference has outlined 6 thematic areas for discussion. These are, firstly, prevention; second, laws and policies; third, coordination; fourth, response and support; fifth, accountability and resourcing; as well as sixth, communicating with the population. This approach is correct because it appreciates the multiple dimensions and manifestations of the scourge of gender-based violence and femicide. If I may, I would like to proffer brief comments on some of these themes. To find lasting solutions to the crisis before us, we cannot avoid a thorough examination of the multiple causalities which give rise to the widespread incidence of sexual and other forms of violence against women and children in our society. The statistics themselves point to a deep social malice, which we must cultivate an in-depth understanding of. Some of the questions that are attached to such an inquiry include, but not limited to, firstly, why does this terrible phenomenon manifest itself in such an ugly fashion in our country more than any other, and to the extent that it does? Secondly, why it is that a significant number of sexual crimes and femicides before our courts occur amongst family members, friends, acquaintances, and known members of the community. And third, whether there are specific structural factors about our society which help fuel the crisis more than in other societies elsewhere. Left-wing political economy long held that, quote, the emancipation of a woman will only be possible when a woman can take some in production on a large social scale, and domestic work no longer claims anything but an insignificant amount of her time, end quote. This was Friedrich Engels, The Origin of the Family, Private Property, and the State, end quote. Appreciating the interconnectedness of social phenomena, as we all are, our efforts to rid society of the barbarism of gender-based violence and femicide must affirm the larger national task to affirm women to take part in production on a large social scale, thus to remove the albatross of domestic work which confines and consigns women to the position of domestic serfs and easy prey for abuse. In the recent past, there has been lively and heated national discussion about the system of patriarchy and its impact on gender roles as a structural feature of social relations. This discussion must therefore be encouraged in order to ensure that as a society we find solutions and lasting solutions together. Like any negative social consciousness which informs behavior, defeating patriarchy requires a society that is aware and sufficiently intolerant to discriminatory social practices which negate social progress. One part, therefore, would therefore like to suggest that as with race and racism, gender studies should occupy a prominent place in the social studies that our academic and other institutions of research should provide guidance and solutions to. May I, at this juncture, welcome you all and wish all of us successful deliberations in striving to find solutions and lasting solutions to gender-based violence in our society. I thank you very much.
Thank you.